composers.
He's the person that buys.
He's the one that calls us to come in. So their bundles are smaller, we get from them. I would like increase going in with businesses in Jeanette.
I see that we get substantial income from, well, some income from cardboard.
Yes, we do. That, I would say that is our largest, or our income is from the cardboard. But you have to understand, that comes from the whole county. And Branchville is huge because we also have coming from Perry Central School. Perry Central School brings their three-quarter ton van at least twice a week, usually filled with cardboard.
And the prison.
That they do their own.
Oh.
That's state.
So
Self-maintained.
How often do we sell metal?
we scrap that and go, our red containers, when you go to the, like Branchville, the red container, I would say 2 months or so. In the summer, that does increase. During the winter, it takes longer to fill up.
And then that'll be on here in addition to
Yes.
cardboard.
Yes,
Is it profitable?
we got all kinds of scrap for that.
Yeah.
I would say it is because it's free. People don't have to pay anything to dump that. And
Well, they do, the like tags.
yeah, it's, well, most of what goes on there is free for them to get. There's no cost to that.
Like a washing machine.
Well, washing machines cost, but like people like their metal from their like scrap, just metal.
How did you decide to charge tags for a washing machine when we're gonna benefit?
That was something that was set up way before me. I think the cost of it, because, you know, it's a heavy item and we have to pay for, logistic wise, we have to pay
Our employees.
for, yeah, but we have to pay for that to be picked up and hauled. And there's a fee for that.
Oh, it's not our employees that do it.
No, it's a big metal trailer and it's picked up, like right now it's picked up by 5 Gen, which is Lettrings. And for them to come get it and haul it, there's a fee to that. And since gas went up, there's a fuel surcharge. So we do get a check from them, but you have to counter that with what we're paying
The bill.
the bill for them to come pick it up, which, you know, it's all kinds of scrap. It's not a huge bill, but we're still paying a bill. So you have
It's
to
more
counter
profit.
that income with that.
It's more profitable to do it that way than for us to bring our truck and.
Oh, yeah,
Drop it
because
off.
it's a big container. And even we have a small flatbed that's not in the best of shape, but there's no way to put that on there. So we have,
Thank you, appreciate it.
Are there any other questions on the financial?
In the chain of emails last couple weeks, there was a camera that was purchased. Where does that fit in this of being approved? Because it wasn't, is it on? I didn't see it on, and I looked at it quickly.
and
I just want to make sure that gets done, because
yeah, that's gonna go at Hamilton, and he says he has that set up to go up in the week of the 11th.
Okay.
I don't know what date.
Yeah, but I
believe
think
that's
he's
somewhere.
asking about.
Yeah,
paying the bill on it.
Oh, I haven't been invoiced for it yet.
Really?
He hasn't, oh, that invoice, that one.
That, yeah.
That
Okay, I'm like, I thought we had, but there was a lot of emails on that.
It was $500 and some dollars.
300 and something dollars.
300 and something. That would go, that's supposed to be paid. I would have to talk to Wes
Okay.
on that one because I'm not sure. I have not received the.
Chris, sorry,
I spoke with Wes because I had asked for the payment. I wanted them to make the payment directly to our credit card and not run through the county books. And it couldn't be done because you guys hadn't approved it. So I know that he sent it to you guys, but you guys can approve via email. So yes, you guys need to approve that before he processes that. It's been paid for out of county general, so county general just needs to be reimbursed for that. So I
Well, I
think,
make a motion that we go ahead and pay it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought they were talking about the cameras for
okay.
the Hamilton site. I was thinking security cameras for that.
Okay, we've got a motion to pay for the cameras from all the emails was going back and forth, so let's make it official here.
For
Go
the
ahead, go ahead.
Sycamore Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, that one, make sure we all got that. This is for Sycamore Road. There, I think it was 3 cameras, right?
Yes.
Got a second? Any other discussion?
I just think I just want to caution us running stuff through the county like that. I don't want us to get written up again, because I sent out an article, I know it's been a while, but it says State Board of Accounts back in 93, violations with the county. State law requires that solid waste district boards handle their finances independently from the county business. I just want to make sure, I don't want the county or Chris or any of you guys to get in trouble. That's the only thing I'm looking out for. I mean, I just think we just got to be careful with that
When
moving
these were
forward.
purchased, I honestly didn't realize that solid waste was paying for them. I thought they were county.
Right.
I actually did too. I actually thought the county was gonna pay for them also. It was a venture between solid waste, accountant and the county
Right.
and, trying to work on keep people from dumping that there.
Sure,
So,
but I appreciate that. I just don't want us to get in trouble. That's
Right.
last thing I'd like to see us happen to us is get in trouble,
okay, motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Who made the motion? I'm sorry.
Mike seconded.
So will that be paid out on the April claim docket then?
Yes.
So all opposed, same sign. The ayes carry, so. Okay, now, is there any other questions on the financial?
I'll make a motion to approve the financial report.
Okay, motion
Okay.
and a second. Are there any other discussion? None, all in favor say aye. I oppose, same sign. Okay. Now, moving on to, thanks for bringing that up, Chris, on the camera, so
You're
it
welcome.
clears that up a little bit better, so. Director report.
Thank you, Randy, for mentioning Marcia. She was with us over 25 years, and I'll tell you, she was a wealth of knowledge. Appreciate it. A couple weeks ago, a gentleman out of Ohio that has a Boy Scout troop reached out. They're going to be camping at Tipsaw Lake in April, and they're going to be cleaning out where some of the rivers connect. And so they're going to be in our neighborhood cleaning out. And so we'll finalize some of it. I'm going to take them T-shirts and things like that and make sure they're okay. They're going to take it out by boat. So they don't need my assistance because we were going to have them take it and process the stuff at Branchville. But they're not even going to take the stuff there. So that's going to be April 20th. They're actually going to be on Saturday out by Tipsaw Lake. So they're coming from, I believe it's Milford, Ohio. He doesn't know how many kids or children, adults are going to be there yet until the final. So I'll know more about that in April. And we now have 4 new tubs. 2 of the tubs will be out at Super Suds, the new owners at the laundromat that's by the movie theater. I happen to be in there doing some bedspreads and talking to new owners, and they now have tubs, the 50-gallon tubs. They printed out some cards to put out to have people doing recycling. I went back in and people are already there. They'll call us when they're ready, and they have extra tubs in the back in case those get full. And Patio Restaurant reached out. They now have a cardboard trailer. They'll be paying the $38 a month for that. So that's in, and my hope is to focus soon on getting some grants for some new trailers, because we could reach out to more people to do that. I know that there's a few with it, but we have some businesses like, well, I still call it Stuart Warner, but Meggitt, that they do have a trailer, and we do pick them up, and other than like Nobles. There are businesses that call and reach out about getting that. But, we're kind of low between the rotation at Branchville and the other restaurants. We don't have a lot of extra.
Well, even your business, your industry too, ATTC, Spencer County picks them up. That's ridiculous.
And you said that started in 21. I didn't.
That started in 1921, or 2021. And they also pick up over at Du Bois County, and Crawford County has invited them to come there and pick up.
Yeah, Rebecca talked to Autumn from Spencer County, and I also was on the phone with her today, not knowing. And I found out that today too. I guess it started, like you said, in 2021. I was a bit surprised.
ATTC actually approached them about it, so that was one of my questions.
And
to
that
them.
was prior to me. I don't know why. I don't know anything that's knowledge I'm not privy to. I know that they have trucks themselves that they go out and collect with. That is something we don't have, and I know that's a huge investment, but that would be something for grants.
Mhm.
And that's the thing, when we can't focus on that, when it's the other things we're focused on, it makes it difficult to focus on doing those things, And I've stated before, when we can focus on the bigger things and there's more things to do, there's so much more that we can do. The state does offer a lot of help, and, there's programs. Different counties in our state get awards for the most cleaned up, the towns and the counties. There's things that we can do. Going back to that, our customer count at Hamilton was, since our last meeting, was 1,227, and our tags was 1,610.
And accountant was what?
Customer at Hamilton was 1,227,
Mhm.
and our tags was 1,610.
Okay.
Now, touching on Branchville, that is in an update on our old business, but I'm going to give you the customer count since we reopened after the storm we had, because I want you all to know that we've had a porta potty. That's how we reopened. We have not had running water till today. Jingle Ball was able to get there today. So there is running water as of today again. We also have a new employee out there. His name is Travis Garvin.
So what was the count there?
979 on customers and tags 936.
And yeah, they were down part of the month.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So I'm leaving the porta potty there for a little while to make sure that all the plumbing is correct. I do not want him to have to go through any of that again. Then I was going to touch on some of the stuff with Spencer County. I want to start off by saying that when I talked to Autumn, she said that, you can't compare what one county does than another county because we're all different and our needs are different. They handle solid waste. Their billing is different. They bill, it's 0.024 on all land parcels, whether they're assessed
Assessed value.
of their land, 0.024 on all land parcels. And that is something I had kind of missed in the middle of this. I was thinking it was only a property that had a home on it that they did. It's not, it's farmland too. That is something that our county doesn't do, that this office does not do. We only do a dwelling where someone can live. So the person that has a fire and they're displaced for a year, we don't charge them. It's a place where you have people living. If someone has a house that they cannot live in and has not lived in it, we're not charging them.
So we don't build places where people don't live?
No, if your main dwelling had a fire and you were displaced for a year, we don't charge you.
I mean, about like a business, we don't,
No, I'm talking a home.
home, okay.
This is just a home I'm talking about.
How about rentals?
Rentals we charge for. I'm talking about the difference between how we bill someone in their home versus how another county will assess the value. They're just going to charge you on your land. And there's differences between how we have figured out prior to me and how they have done it. Apartment buildings are different. Yes, we charge per unit. Hospitals are different. Yes, we have that. And I spent time talking to her and trying to explain, and she has prior conversations with other people that have called and asked how we bill and the difference. So what I'm saying is we are not perfect. They're not perfect. I don't believe that we should do it certain ways, but I am not the deciding vote. And I know we've talked about doing it different ways. I don't know what the complete answer is, but I know that we have people that are against putting it on property taxes. We have different ways of doing it. We've discussed all these different ways. We don't have the equipment to go out and go to people's houses or to businesses the way they do. We have 2 trucks. And we maintain those trucks we call them on weeks at our sites. On the on week, that is when Tell City uses our truck and the trailers. On that week, we have 1 truck. For us to maintain and stay up to the standard that we should be, we're down a truck. It's difficult for us to go around and get all of our recycling and our plastics and get everything. And there's frustration from the customers. There's frustration on our side. And, it's like, you can't say what Spencer County does, we're going to do that, or Crawford County or anybody, because Crawford County is now asking Spencer County to come help them. So when I discussed with her merging with, and she said, we don't merge, we're not going to merge. We will take your cardboard, sure, but we're not going to come get it. So we would be giving them the cardboard for them to take and do and get the money. I don't feel that's something that, I don't quite go with that. They take certain things from other counties that they cannot process. I feel that what has been done for the last 20-some years with the recycling in Perry County and the board and the other directors is a good core and should be worked on and expanded. With us being down 1 truck on the on week, because we take that recycling and we do put it in, but it's put in for the county. It's not put in for one city over another city. This is for the county. This is for all of us.
You said you're down 1 truck. Are you still
Yes.
down 1 truck?
Every other week, and that week, like when I told you, we have been having some problems with that truck, but it seems to be lined out. We've had to have work done on that 1 truck.
That was gonna be next question. You getting it worked on?
It's been worked on. So, I'm looking at what we need. Now that the gentleman that I have out at Branchville, Travis, he's doing an exceptional job. So the second person that we had at Branchville that was helping, I have hired a second person to help drive at Hamilton to pick up some of the slack because it was falling behind because there was so much in people. And people are recycling more. We've got, the high rise, we've got all these other businesses. So that money that was going in the budget for that second person at Branchville is now going to go to help that part-time person at Hamilton to help get this, because we have a lot and I can get more. I just have to make sure we can come pick it up without our customers getting mad. Where are you? So that is something that I would like to look at is.
You mentioned that Spencer County, I think you said, is based on the value of the property,
Assessed value.
assessed value, and then it's collected how? On
On their
property
property
tax?
taxes. And they get their checks in June and December.
So it has
And-
that amount on their taxes
Mhm.
rather than collecting $45
And
or
they get $400,000 to $500,000.
45,
4 to
to
500,000.
4 to 500.
per year, which is
So-
more than what we get
So
for.
the people that are owning more, bigger, better homes are paying more than
Yes, sir.
the people that are,
And the
in a little
people that
shanty.
own larger land,
Right.
whether it be farming or just own, are paying
Right.
more than someone who owns a small. And that's been one of our things, is someone who owns that is going to
how
pay.
about businesses there? Like
It depends on the assessed value.
The
I
assessed
asked for
value.
the same
Oh.
thing,
Holiday World, all of them.
Yeah,
yes.
No
Every
wonder.
single, every property, it's their assessed value.
Santa Claus Village tried to start their own solid waste, and it got shot in the head.
because of,
This Spencer County Solid Waste.
Because they're already paying a tax on
Do you know what the assessed valuation is in Spencer County?
On that is
Oh, yeah.
Assessed valuation, the amount of property they have.
Oh.
Well over $2 billion.
Mhm.
We are at about 756 million. So take that amount times 3, the rate, if you think you're gonna draw in that much money.
I mean,
Trust me,
adding Walmart and Wapaka and.
we are $757 million of assessed valuation.
That's what the whole county assessed was worth.
Add up every value here.
Yeah.
How do you do
And
that?
what?
Go ahead.
Theirs is over 2 billion.
Yep.
So you base your tax rate upon your assessed valuation. The more assessed valuation you have, the lower your tax rate is. It works in reverse too. So when we're 1/3 the size, or whatever that ratio is, we would have to have 3 times the rate.
And I
In
don't
order
know how
to-
it would work with the Hoosier National Forest being part of
They
that.
don't pay.
it.
Right, so, I mean, we're just,
I
yeah,
mean, they give us whatever they decide to give us, and
Mhm.
that's it.
Would 1/3, like Randy says, ours is about 1/3 of Spencer County, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we're about 1/3 of what they have in assessed valuation.
Could we still be, would it still be advantageous to us to do it if we only had 1/3 of the,
I feel like the only thing that, since I've been here, that's been talked about is putting it as a line item on the taxes. It's never been any interest in doing it property value thing. That's not something that I've ever really looked at because it's never been something that's been mentioned. It's been, can we do it as a line item? And
See, your subsidized housing that's operated by nonprofits do not pay property tax.
That's right.
like which places?
All right.
They do pay.
They pay property tax?
Oh, I'm property tax, I'm sorry. thought
I didn't know
you-
they paid property tax.
I know, no, I'm
That's news
sorry.
to me. That's.
No,
I'm
I
glad
thought you were
hear
gonna
it,
say
though.
they don't pay the
If
fee.
you
I
put
thought
it
they
on a
didn't pay the
property
fee.
tax rate though,
Yeah.
and they don't pay a property tax
Right.
rate, then you're not gonna collect that revenue.
That is exactly.
Now, they do pay by each, they get their $45 just like anybody else does under the current
Yes,
arrangement.
yes, they do.
So when you start talking about that, you're gonna have a certain group of individuals currently paying that will no longer be required.
I didn't mean that I want to do this. I was trying to point out the difference in how we do it. I was trying to say that the way that was decided that we did it, I feel is more fair because we have that was my point. I was trying to point out that they do it different and how they do it and why they do it and where it's at. I was not trying to say that that's how we should do it. I think it would be a big pain and I don't think it's right and I don't want to do it that way. If it went on the property taxes, I just ask it's a line item and a flat rate. I just want it to be that we understand that everyone does it different. And she even said that everyone does it different. There's no right or wrong. Do what works for you, stick with it, make a decision. But to talk about getting rid of it, to talk about dissolving it, to talk about moving it out, to talk about doing these things and having that come up so often it's backbreaking at times. It's like we become a pecking post. And can we, we are needed. The amount of solid waste alone that we get rid of is amazing. Over 3 tons a week easy out of Branchville. The amount of garbage that comes out of the Hamilton, what we take is amazing. And until you realize the numbers and what they are, you don't realize how much garbage that we take alone. Take away the recycling, and just realize how much garbage
And that's not
that Greenville
including all
bring to
the
us.
private trash haulers and
Exactly, and we had, Mr. Garvin out of Brentville said that 2 people came in and said that there is another company that has stopped hauling east of Brentville. So these 2 families are now coming in and wanting to know, how do we recycle, how do we use the site? Because we have now lost our dumpster people. They're no longer coming. They're glad they don't have to feed, but now they have to, that's simply what I'm saying. I know I kind of went a little bit over this,
Sorry for the question.
but the new,
It does seem like the wealthier should be paying more than the poorer. Yeah, you know, for me to pay whatever I pay for multiple rentals in our home, and some of the people that were in our council meeting were talking about their parents that are just, you know, trying to scrape by in one home.
Right.
And that $45 makes a difference. Well, if we did it this way, the way you're not suggesting, just telling us about,
Mhm.
it would be fairer to them. They would pay less, we would pay more.
right, but you don't know where their house is and how it could be assessed. That's a gamble, because your property taxes can go up. I mean, that's a gamble.
Well, if it does, that means they're wealthier.
Right? But your house could be in a spot where your neighbors are wealthier, not you. Because your property tax, you can, you can live and be scraping by, but your neighbors, your value, their homes, and yours can do a higher, and you're barely making it. I can attest.
Okay.
They probably had this same conversation when they started it years ago.
Right.
And I guess they thought,
Fletcher County.
no, Perry County.
Perry County.
And I guess what little history I do know about it, that they thought this was a fair
Right.
way across the board.
And the reason, they started it with the fee being in half. And the reason they put it together is because people were not paying the bill, and they had to take them to court, and they were $12.50 or $20, and they weren't paying. So they put it in one, and no one wants to take anyone to court. No one wants to do that. And, the option that we've been presented, that is one option. You don't want to take a $45 bill and turn it into a $199 bill. It's just silly. But, they used to put it in half, but people weren't doing it, and that's why it became one bill. And back to the vehicle, I would like to look into seeing if there's a loan or grant, maybe we can get another truck, so that on those on weeks, when we are assisting and helping with garbage or the recycling in Tell City, that we are not put behind.
So Chris, would a solution be if Tell City had a ball on a truck and they could just pull the wagon instead of use your truck? Would that not solve your problem?
I do not know their situation. with
Well,
their
Chris,
trucks.
you've got numerous trucks down there with balls and hitches. It's just a matter of putting it on.
Yeah, I mean, it's-
Rather than us, what we're actually doing, we're gonna buy a second truck and let it sit half the time. When we don't need it, just because you're using that one truck, you guys got a multitude of trucks. And so I would think that just popping the trailer on your truck and being done with it, and then she didn't have to find another pickup
Our
truck.
truck and our personnel.
Yeah.
Well, they already do it. Your personnel
Yeah,
already does it.
It's completely done by,
Yeah, they come out and get the truck.
I'm assuming that agreement was done a long time ago, because Tell City actually goes around every other week to each home and collects it. Then we give the cardboard, the plastic, the glass, the metal cans, whatever, to the solid waste district, and they turn around and make money off it. That was their way to help and kind of offset some of our expenses. We're literally giving it to them. And I've entertained it, keeping it ourselves. We could actually go around and collect that cardboard, the plastic, the glass, and bale it in-house at our street department, sell it, and reduce our costs for our residents if we wanted to. It's certainly an option Tell City could do. We don't have to collect it and give it to the county, but we do. And I think that's kind of an incentive for us not to do that, is why they've loaned us that truck. I don't know. I wasn't around when that was done, probably 20 years ago. I don't know.
I don't know, the
Hold on.
agreement is it's $12 a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was done a long time, and it was done, it was a partnership. I mean, and
It
no
was.
one's here to say that anyone's wrong. I'm just
Sure.
saying we are getting busier. I've got more people I can bring in to do this. People are wanting to recycle, you know. And but I can't overpromise I can go get stuff when I can't go get it on a certain, and I'm not trying to take away and say that anyone's wrong, because yeah, we do use that cardboard.
Yeah.
For that, and that part of the money we get, like cardboard now is up to 115, I forgot to tell you, 115 a ton now. Great.
Mhm.
It's not all Tell Cities. It's
Right.
not all Branchville's. It's everyone's together.
Mhm.
So to say the profit is Tell Cities, the profit is Branchville's, that's not correct.
Right.
It is Perry County's cardboard. And I want to see it work together, but to think that we should be shut down and the equipment taken and used in one place, and that we're wrong or Tell Cities wrong is not right. I don't see it that way. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I do not see it that way.
I don't think anybody's saying that. It's
No.
just,
No, I'm
It's just,
just saying.
you don't want to necessarily leave a vehicle parked half the time.
No,
It just seems like a waste of use of a resource.
and I don't,
And, you know, by all means, if Tell City wants to keep the waste they pick up, they pick it up. But one thing we don't have is we don't have a cost of our waste stream. If I pick up, and you say a ton of cardboard and I get $115, but I end up with $350 worth of man hours, bringing it, collecting it, putting it together and baling it, in effect, I'm losing money.
You're counterproductive on finance.
And I will guarantee you, anytime you have to sort the number 1s and 2 plastic, they've got trash in it, because I've been reading, recycling facilities just put it in the dumpster and off it goes, because it's too labor intensive.
that's why
It
we
costs
take,
too much
that's
money.
why we take 1 through, I believe, 5
Yeah,
or 7.
it's all
I think-
mixed.
Right.
I think 1 and 2, but I mean, those are the marketable plastics, the other ones are not. So I mean, you're actually expending effort, and that's where you need to know your waste stream and the waste stream cost.
Right.
We may be doing things in the recycling business that we ought to stay out of, because it's just taking too much time, and the yield off of them is minimal.
An example is, I think electronics is one we take, the computers, television screens, and I want to say, I might be wrong, but I thought like Goodwill would take those at one point at no cost, and they recycle them.
And when-
I might be wrong, and if I am, I'm sorry, but,
Well, I found out that we are getting rid of those for free now.
oh, we are? Oh, good.
So,
Okay.
and I just went and got Gaylord boxes from
Yeah.
there, and they're gonna be shipped out. So that
Wonderful.
will be cleaned out.
That's a
How
win.
many, how many man hours do you have to free that stuff?
Well, I know, Randy.
See, and that's my point. I know that like Best Buys and some of those places were taking electronics where people could take it right to. That's where you have to look at your waste stream and determine whether you should even be collecting it, or whether you should be referring people to another place that they can collect it or deposit it there. And that's one of the things that I struggle with when I look at this. And because I look at some of these hours and that, so we have a fairly, you know, with the healthcare and that involved with it, an expensive workforce that has to somewhere make sense with what we're doing.
And that, and
I struggle with that.
I understand, and that is a valid point. The flat screens and the computer flat screens are free. The larger ones that are harder for us to get rid of, if we can't, we do charge for them, depending on the size. You know, different amount. The big old council ones we do because of the cost to get rid of them. You know, like we have to take mercury. That is, we have to take that. There are things that we have to take because of HHW, which including mercury. There are things that we're supposed to take and do by state law. You know, and when I reach out to other directors and I say, you know, we're dealing with this, and what do I do? How do I say this? How can, you know, what do I do when I have a board member or a citizen say, get rid of it? And the response is, you have to take mercury. The defense is, where are you going to build a, you know, site? How much garbage do you want? You want it on the side of the road. you have to do HHW. Most of our solid waste is countered by our tax. So that's like it levels out. That's why they raised it to $1.50. I don't know if there'll come a point that that has to change, but that, from my understanding from Wes and from the past people, that is why how that works.
The tags has to take care of the
Yeah,
waste.
is to-
Yes, that's right.
Right, so that is to level it out.
That brings me to another point I'm concerned with. I know here at the county level, we require anybody that handles money to be bonded.
They are fine,
They are bonded.
So all the
absolutely.
employees that are taking, so when we had this recent incident where this person was
Mhm.
concerned about the money and all that, in the event there was missing money,
They were
they
bonded,
would have, the bonding company would have came in and done it.
yes, they are bonded. That has been, I will tell you, and that, when you work in the office, you are bonded automatically. The other person that is bonded in this department is if you work in Branchville,
So it is,
The
Anyone
reason-
takes money.
because they handle money.
right.
See,
So that has been,
Because I know, I know that other counties don't sell tags at the site.
right, that's what she
They
said.
watch what the waste stream is and make sure that, the bag has a tag on it before it gets in there. And I think there can be some conflict there with somebody selling tags while it's open and potentially having things put into the compactor that didn't have tags on. And
And
you need to collect for every bag you put in.
they are, I thought you all knew that. We are all bonded.
I didn't
You
know.
have
I
to be
was unaware
bonded
of
to
that.
work in the office, and that is one thing when I hire someone for Branchville or in the office. Your employment is contingent on you getting bonded. That is made very clear. If you cannot be bonded, you cannot have a job. Now, Hamilton, that's different. But there still are stipulations to your employment.
Well, whoever's handling the money in Hamilton's bonded though.
There is no money in Hamilton. They do not sell tickets.
So the only place that you actually sell any through is out at Branchville,
Branchville in the office,
in the office at the courthouse, or at the,
right, at the end.
Hartford.
Yes.
Is it Noble?
Nobles and Walmart and the Tinker Shop, but they buy them from us.
Mhm.
They are their responsibility. They pay
Okay.
us. We get a check right then and there or money order. Walmart does money order.
Chris, I'll tell you, a successful place that Tell City's had is Chuckles. It's on the fly now or whatever. They sell Tell City tags there. You might approach them. It's my understanding, they sell quite a few there.
Yeah, I don't, the
Just
rhyme or
make it
reason-
convenient for anyone
Right.
that needs it. That's all.
We
Yeah.
need to go out into the county also.
Yeah, I don't know businesses. I mean, Circle S would be a great Michael's Market if they would.
I can talk to Barry about maybe selling something.
Yeah, Derby, that'd be a wonderful idea.
You could, the only thing is I don't, they're not accepting any trash. He could probably sell
Yeah,
them. Some way,
Sell the
actually,
tags.
had something.
Delivered to Canton or
Right.
Branchville. But what I found out since the cold spell, since Branchville shut down, how much people depend on Branchville
Yes,
for
sir.
their trash. I know the recycling also, trash is huge.
Yes.
And that's where we've got a lot of complaints I have, and I think the other two commissioners have, and
The
maybe
numbers
some of
right
the rest
there
of the board.
themselves
But,
are telling it.
I have people
We see in
filling
the-
up with 20 bags, easy. And sometimes, one guy, he goes, I'll be back. And he comes back another 15, he goes, I finally got it. And I thought, is he running his own little business, getting for
Well,
whatever
yeah.
he's doing? I mean, he had 20 and then he come back with 15. He's like, I think my house is finally cleaned out.
The numbers themselves right here, and Branchville being down, there's less than 300.
Yeah.
Right there, and they were down.
And that first Saturday that Travis worked, he had 100 people, and that was the first
Yeah.
Saturday. And yeah. And it's been 80, and today's Tuesday, he had like 86 people. And, that most people don't bring just one bag.
Well, it's not worth their while.
Right. So, and Derby Market is busy. We get out there, we've got them trying to do them on a weekly schedule, Derby Market, what they do. And it would be nice to have another place, but that would also require us to handle it. And whether what we can do with the vehicle or not, I don't know. I certainly don't want a problem with anyone on, taken away or anything, of the trailers that we have. We don't use those, we use the trailers that they use, we have some of the same trailers for our paper and our glass out at Derby and out at Branchville.
That was something I was gonna ask you. Your glass, you send it to Indianapolis? They come get it?
You know, I don't know where it goes after.
I think Strategics out of Indianapolis comes and gets it, but you don't get anything for it, right? Glass is useless.
It just keeps it off the road.
Yeah. Strategic out of Indy comes and gets glass. And they actually, how often do they come here
It
when you
just,
call them? Okay, because I know at Spencer County, they come once a month, but, you know, they do a run for glass.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you know, they probably get more. And then Intex out of Evansville,
Mhm.
once a month.
yeah, she said she puts a bid up
Mhm.
monthly.
Yeah, they're not on contract with any of these people. None. They call them as needed.
Yeah, and with Quincy, I don't know if she does her card, but I was talking to her about how we use Quincy so much. You know, it's, everybody's a little different.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm just saying how they do
Well,
a lot of
Out
theirs.
at Posey County, they have a big, green, beautiful truck that they do, and it's like a waste management, they'll dump it from the
Oh, yeah.
side.
Yeah.
And everyone, their 50-gallon thing, what is in it, they pull up and dump it into that section, and they run it. I mean, and I'm not saying that that's what I'm going after, but everyone's different in their money and
Sure.
what they've done. And they're more, we have a lot of rural, so we can't offer the same thing. You know, that would be something like maybe that Tell City could look into doing something like that, or Hamilton, you know, having a small thing. But for us to say we would do that, we can't run the gas to do the whole county. That's something that is,
Well, I don't think Spencer County runs the whole county. They run, now I keep going back to Spencer County, if that's where I took my little field trip to. And they actually, what they do, they have they have 3 trucks, 2 recycling trucks. And one of them trucks is a box truck. And their box truck is used every other week, 3 days a week, to go around to the businesses.
mhm.
Just the businesses, not industry, just the businesses. And that runs every other week, 3 days a week, and the recycling truck runs 5 days a week. So
And that is a great idea,
Mhm.
because
if
a
you,
box truck alone, I mean, we use a pickup truck that the one for the 50-gallon trucks has a lift on it. So it just, I'm sure you guys
Makes it
have probably
easier.
seen it. You know, and they can fit 2 on that, but it only fits, I think 6 in the back, and then he has to go back.
Yeah.
You know, a box truck would be something, but with a lift on the back. You know, we are getting to the point, we could reach out to more, we're getting busier. I've reached out and with good response, but I also, they're reaching out, they want to know, the patio called, she wanted to know, can we get one? I'm like, yeah, let me make sure we have one.
I think will she need permission from us to go ahead and try to get a grant for another truck?
Or looking into maybe a box truck or
Looking
something,
into
seeing it, something.
Something,
I think just keep us aware. I mean,
You know, but it goes back to what Randy was saying. If you get a box truck, it costs you an insurance and whatever on the truck you need, maintenance, costs you, $500 a year for that, and you're only bringing in $100 a year in cardboard in it. I get it. Or-
With all due respect, we would look at that.
It kind of-
If anything was bought, we would
Yeah.
absolutely look
We're not
at it.
talking-
What's worse than that, Chris,
Yeah.
if it's a truck full of glass?
Yeah,
brings nothing.
I know.
Spend all that labor to
Exactly.
pick it up.
But
It
that
ought to
is
be,
part
I mean,
of recycling. The glass is part
Yeah, I
of
agree.
recycling.
Oh, I'm not arguing. I'm just saying it kind of goes back to what he was saying.
But they recycle it and reuse it for something.
And-
We might not get
right.
something for it, but they are
Sure.
using it for something. It's almost like you have to look at it and see, there is an end goal for it.
There is.
We might not get something for it now, but there is an end goal for it. And some of it, yes, we all know it sometimes goes into the garbage.
The one thing is a lot of products are not glass anymore like they used to be. Mayonnaise jars used to be glass, ketchup bottles, soda bottles, it's still beer bottles and stuff, but not as much material is glass like it was. A lot of it is plastic now.
Right, right.
A lot of it is.
Yeah, I feel like it's time to start moving towards looking at what we can do to move this on and not be, I can, instead of having that, maybe it's not another small truck, maybe we look at doing that and getting a grant on getting a truck, and it's a lift and someone can do that.
And two, if you get the new truck, you can replace it if we don't want to put the second truck on. I mean, replace the equipment.
Right.
Anytime you can get a grant,
Absolutely.
that's better for our bottom line.
And the thing about it is the trucks you have now are eventually gonna wear out. They need to be, like every 3 years, 4 years, look at how many miles is on this truck, what trouble we had. Have one standing by, ready to go
I feel like when I came into
on
the job,
rotation.
I was asked, do I have a goal? And I look at it like I should have a 5-year goal. And I look at what we can do going forward and what would be a good thing for us county-wide. And that's my intention. And I'm letting you know that that's something I would like to look into. And if that's not something that you want me to do, you just let me know. We've got a different version, but I feel like,
If there's any grants out there that you
Yeah.
could be eligible for anything, grab onto it.
right, because we can go to the businesses. Some of these businesses just dump stuff because they don't have anything to do with it. And I don't mind going and picking it up.
In my opinion, if you look back, I know we're taking a lot of time here. The reason solid waste was implemented by the state is not for the counties or the solid waste to make money. This is a bonus when we do sell stuff for profit. It was to get it off,
Just
to
operate.
clean up the counties, have some place for the residents to take things that they can't dispose of.
Encourage recycling.
And that, yes.
Mhm.
And if we get money off cardboard or whatever, that's a bonus. That's great. I hope we can do that. Hope we continue. But that's where the fee came in to help clean up the counties.
And
And Randy made a comment several meetings ago. We don't want to go back to make this county a third world country
Right.
where trash is all on the streets and the roadways.
That's
So
what will happen.
Right, and respectfully, I appreciate your time. I know this has been a lot longer than I even expected.
Well, we need to have these discussions.
And it's nice that we don't have people come in.
Well, I mean,
And I appreciate you all showing up a week later.
At some point, maybe we should have like a strategic planning session as a group to have these discussions, spend the time to look up stuff and assign tasks, you research cardboard and, what other people do and glass and other solid waste stuff. It would probably benefit us to do a strategic planning session as a group sometime.
Right, and when I've looked at I can take a moment, the 1-day cleanups they have, like a 1-day bring your stuff and do that, like a battery or whatever. In the past, it's cost so much money that it was not, it just cost too much money.
Tires are probably the same way. I mean, they're,
Right, and like I have everyone taking their tires to Hamilton because it just is easier for everyone. But we do the drug take back. That is something we help with that. That is twice a year. But to do a once a year, clean out day or something, it's costs a lot of money because the people are usually coming from Indianapolis. It just costs a lot of money. It's not that it can't be done, it's just, it will cost a lot of money. So trying to do and work with what we have, like we have to do those things. Let's go with what we can do, and that's my focus.
okay. All right, can we
Thank you.
go
Yes,
on to new business?
I think that was all.
I think we did old
Yes.
business, new business all together here, I
Yes, we
believe.
did.
But we'll go through it anyway.
Ernie,
On Chris, yeah. You didn't have any other old business?
No.
Okay.
the update on the Tell City building, we do need to talk about that, I think.
Yes, please. I believe I was waiting, Randy, you were going to separate what the billing is. Did you finish that? I need that. Okay, can I get that from you? Because I've got the cards ready to go and I need to print them out. I extended the deadline for June 28th. So the bills will be due on June 28th, which is a Friday.
So what you're proposing is just to send bills to those cities that didn't opt in with the edit?
Yes, and Troy, it seems
that was tabled
tabled.
again.
So, I have time to wait on Troy, but not much longer.
So Chris, is the city gonna file suit against the county?
Um,
Do that?
Well, that's something I am going to bring up. The city itself wouldn't, but the residents could. Holiday Inn, Ramada Inn, they certainly could. You know, it comes down to it probably be multi, and it, you know, it may be against the county itself and solid waste. I don't know, but it certainly could happen. You know, you get down into the 14th Amendment with the protection clause under that, or the equal protection clause, where you're sending bills to one entity of this group, but not the other group. Because Tell City is part of Perry County. Troy is part of Perry County. Cannleton, we're all part of Perry County. And for the county to say, hey, we're going to pay just this one group, which is this, you know, out the unincorporated areas, I would say, might not be the best words, and exclude Tell City, Troy, and Cannleton, potentially could open you up to solid waste board or the county to litigation. And from people who have come to me, I say they have a very high chance of that happening. Very high chance. So I don't know. So if they get the bill, there could be a class action. There may be nobody. It's a roll of the dice. This board is going to have to
But
decide
that's a
they want to
decision by your city council, correct?
do what? No, the city don't have to. It actually could be residents in that case.
No, I said the decision to not pay the recycling $45
Mhm.
was your council's, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they voted that. But this is a county, as you said earlier, this is a county service. This is a county bill, in essence. This isn't a Tell City bill. Because Tell City has trash figured out how we dispose of our trash. You know, trash truck goes by your house, you know, once a week, picks up your garbage and disposed of. I would say it's highly unlikely Tell City residents bring their garbage to either Cannleton or Branchville to dispose of it. There might be a few. It's $1.50, so it's 50 cents more. For whatever reason, they may choose to, and that's their choice. It's their money and whatever they want to do. But I think we are going to open ourselves up to a potential litigation in the near future over this. I really do. I hate to say that and be the negative one here, but I'm going to throw the information out there. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But I would hope the county would consider covering everybody in the county, which includes Tell City, Troy, and Cannleton, not just the unincorporated areas, because we're all one in that group. It's a little different there. But that's just my opinion. I don't know how Mike's on city council. I don't know how, I don't want to speak for Cannleton or anybody, but that's just,
I think from Cannleton's standpoint, of course, I inherited the fact that we've opted out, we the city have opted out of the payment. And it has to be explored because I don't know up at this moment, and have sat with the city's attorney as to where we actually stand in legality by doing so. That we were legally, it was a legal movement on our part, ours being the city. I have to look at it. So I'm sitting here listening to the billing issue, and I don't have that issue. In Kendall, we don't have that issue at this point. But I understand it is an issue because we are part of the county. And I am not totally against, and probably would prefer that we still be a part of the solid waste program. We, again, being the city of Cannleton. But again, I've walked in, it was taken on, and you probably could give me the date, but late in the year of 2023, that the council up there made that decision. And I don't know with what guidelines they used. I don't know for what purpose they used to do such thing, but they've done it. And it's going to have to be readdressed. And I'm thinking pretty quickly. But yeah, you're right on the billing issue. It certainly has to be across the board for everyone. And because we have walked away from that, I really don't know what my true input would be with the issue.
So you're telling me that a resident that lives in Cannleton, in a modest home, in say Pleasant Valley in Cannleton, should pay $45, and Wapaka should pay $45.
Oh, no, I would never say that.
You're saying you want it across the
No,
board?
no, what I'm saying, and what I have said was, we're not involved in that. We're simply not involved in it. Nobody up in Pleasant Valley is going to pay that bill this year because we pulled away. So whatever monies you draw, it's what you set standard at. But again, my predecessor and his council opted out. So all the conversation that comes to this table, from my point of view, is that what we have done is stepped away from your very issue. All I can do is sit and listen to this until which time we come back, if we indeed do come back.
From my understanding, it was going to be put on utility bill in Cannleton.
There was nothing placed on the utility bill, but the monies that they were utilizing, payment, that $45, what the council did, and again, listen, I'm going on a thread of information here, okay? Because I'm 60 days into this, so I haven't sat and read why and what. But I know that the monies that the council was looking at that was being paid to the solid waste was going to be turned around, put the monies back in for raises for the individuals who work the trash and city street department, and save the taxpayers an additional $1 or $2, I think is what it amounted to. They were still going to wind up paying $45, but it's going to be paid to the utilities
Right.
for their own upgrading for wages for the people who work there. And I don't know that turned out exactly the truth
Right, I don't know either.
because of the percentage of raise that they received. I've got to look at the next billing cycle and see where that's at. So no, that money was, your point is, yeah, it actually came back to the utilities in by way of a raise for those that work there who pick up that trash inside the city of Cannleton. So their $45 is working in Cannleton, but not out into the counties with the solid waste.
So let me just bring this back. What originally we were talking about is we got a little in excess of $200,000 in new revenue in our edit monies from 23 to 24. With eliminating the Armory office and the staff there because the billing wouldn't be required, the postage, the printing, everything associated with sending these things out, we felt like $300,000 would be a sufficient subsidy for the solid waste. All of these questions we're going through, this would give us an opportunity to take the burden off this year, try to sort the waste streams out, what we're doing, why we're doing it, what we need to be doing different, and then have some kind of a semblance of a reasonable plan. With that said, Cannleton chose to participate at their percentage. The county chose to participate at their percentage. Tell City chose not to participate, and Troy is still questionable one way or the other. Since that time, Tell City obviously consulted legal counsel, and there's some, I don't know what the legal counsel said, so I really don't want to speculate, but they were rather insistent at their meeting that if the county doesn't pay for 100% out of their 58% of the edit money, the other percentages all go to the cities, that there would be consequences probably resolved in court. So that's kind of where we stand. The county doesn't need another lawsuit, and whether it's Tell City or whether it's residents, whether it's businesses. But that's where we are. So I don't know what the resolution is.
I mean, I think there could be a credible argument against the solid waste district if you send bills to these people but not those people.
I want to say.
That scares me.
I want to say this was not my idea,
I know that.
so.
And I'm not saying it's a terrible
I'm
idea.
trying to stay out of this because, believe it or not, I'm not political.
Yeah.
I don't want to be.
No.
I'm trying to do a job. I'm trying to provide a service for the residents of Perry County. Plain and simple.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll kind of make this, I'll go ahead and just make a motion that we do not send bills to Tell City, Troy, and even Cannleton. If Smokey looks into it and he finds out it wasn't legal what they did or something, or he withdraws their thing, send them bills for the 2024 billing cycle this year.
Do not or do?
Do not.
I have to say this. I am responsible for the livelihood of these employees.
Mm-hmm.
That money that is in our budget provides an income. And if I don't stand here and say that, what kind of boss person am I?
Right. Well, it's not about that. What it is
Yes,
is,
sir, it is.
no,
No, sir.
You're not responsible, we are.
yes.
I'm their boss.
We are your boss.
You're right. But I'm the
It's
one
our
that they, when,
responsibility.
sir, when these people call me and say, I just got a rumor that our place is being shut down by Tell City employees that came in to recycle that I got last week. When my site manager messaged me and said, what's going on? And I will not use the verbiage he used because this has affected my employees. Why are we being shut down the next week or two? Why are the employees from Tell City Street Department coming in here and telling me that we're being shut down the next week or two? So what I did on my way to see Marcia in the hospital, on her deathbed, basically, was go to your street department, sir. And I asked him, what is the rumor? What's going on? I didn't plan on this. This is ridiculous. I did not plan on this conversation. I asked him, what's the rumor? Because several of your employees have went to my employees and they have children. They have jobs. They rely on this just like employees that work at Tell City. I understand I am your employee. I absolutely understand.
What was the answer?
He said it must be a rumor. I don't know anything about it. And now, once again, I'm standing here.
Exactly. It's a rumor. It's uncreditable. It's a rumor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kale. After Randy proposed that, you asked me on the phone, how do you feel about Tell City taking over? This was a conversation with you and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said, how do you feel about Tell City taking the equipment and taking over? And you going out to Branchville. And I said, sir, I don't know how I feel about that because my job is to the county employees. I know we are our own entity, but my responsibility is that. I don't think that it's right for Tell City to take the equipment that the board and the county people have paid for and maintained. And that I know how much money I have taken.
We don't need, if we would take it over, we wouldn't want your equipment. And that's discussion.
Yes,
You know, you
sir,
should
it
throw
is, but
options out there.
I also know that you and other people have went to people that have worked on my equipment
Who
and asked,
have I talked?
sir, people that are connected to you.
Who? That's speculation.
No,
Then it's false rumors.
no, I don't,
That's rhetoric and,
no, I don't
Anyways.
think so, sir.
all
I
right.
asked about-
Well, I'm still in the middle of my motion. So at this point, I'm going to do this as a board member and we can find the funding. The county could certainly pick up that difference and make it whole and pay for all county residents, including Tell City, Troy, and Council, right? And that would fix your problem, right?
I didn't have a problem before a lot of this.
I understand that.
I did not have a problem. Billing goes out in January and the bills are due by March
But-
15th.
In a legal standpoint, we have, and billing, that's another issue you've got to be careful with because we've done no public hearings for rates. We've done no public hearings for billing as far as changing the date. I might be wrong, but we probably needed to make sure that's all legal too because there's more grounds for
So
litigation.
I'm just trying to get through what this is brought.
I understand
And
that.
I am sorry for bringing this out, but if this had not gone on this far, this has been going on since November.
I agree.
And I understand repercussions to my conversation that I just had, but this is not right.
So what do you want to happen? Us to not do this maybe and then the solid waste board gets sued?
I would rather see that this was put off till next year.
Put
And
what?
this was not voted on to do this year.
The whole thing?
Yes.
I would agree. There should have been more research done to begin
But
with,
I
I
don't
think.
have to say so.
No, I agree. So anyway, so I'd like to make a motion that the County Solid Waste Management District does not send bills to Tell City, Carrollton, and Troy for the 2024 billing cycle because you cannot treat one county resident different than another.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor? Any discussion first?
This is completely catching me off guard,
I'm not understanding.
and I need more details. How do you, so you're not gonna provide any subsidy to the solid waste district at all?
Who? Tell City?
Anyone?
No, I mean, it's a county
So-
service.
So it's a county service, it'll be a county's responsibility. Any cost, anything to keep the solid waste afloat would be 100% our responsibility as a county level. This board and the members from the city would not participate in any fashion.
Tell City residents we're county residents too. I live in this county just like you do. I just happen to have a Tell City address.
I think we went through that before. And we take part of our edit funds
Mhm.
and we operate a jail that accepts prisoners from everywhere. We run a court system. We collect taxes from everybody to run a court system. We have an assessor that assesses every property in the county. Doesn't matter whether it's in the city or not, and that's the cost. Same with the recorder, the same with the auditor, the same with the treasurer. We collect the money, and we distribute it. So we are providing services, and our tax dollars that we collect, property tax wise, doesn't meet the goal, what the requirements to keep even these services up. That's why we have to take it out of our edit money in order to keep them afloat. So
Well,
it's not as though, and we can't raise our property taxes.
yeah.
We're doing it.
I guess the way I feel about it, Chris, while we're in discussion before we vote, just say if this proposal would have came out of the general fund of the county, and that would have took every resident in the county, no matter if they're in Canton, Tell City, Troy, wherever, part of their taxes go into general fund.
Yeah.
What Randy proposed was the edit fund. That's a different fund. That fund is split between all the county citizens. So if we would take our edit funds and pay everyone, be Tell City, Canton, Troy, could there be a lawsuit from the county residents saying, hey, you took our edit funds, that was our edit funds, Tell City gets theirs, Canton gets theirs, Troy gets theirs. Could they sue in return? Be the same difference.
It's possible that edit funds in general is a kind of a questionable thing, according to our legal opinion that we had, using those to even cover it to begin with.
I think you might want to refer to the 11th number that says you can use them for anything, and it's in state statute. And if you have an attorney I've talked to multiple ones, and he says that's a broad statement that allows you to use them for most anything. You look at how they're used throughout the state of Indiana, you'll be amazed at some of the uses for edit funds. So I don't believe that's, if that was our only issue as far as litigation, I think we'd be okay. It's the other area that I think you're going to dwell in that may be problematic.
You know, on the county side, we took some edit funds to cover our insurance. Is that economic development? No. But we didn't have any other choice, and I believe Tell City had to do the same thing before you was mayor, to cover
Can't answer
health
that.
insurance,
Was it?
because that's what the past mayor told me one time. So, yeah, you know, I'm just a little concerned that how kind of backlash we would get from our county residents saying that, well, we paid the whole county.
We are county residents. I
I
am.
meant county residents that paid their portion of the edit funds,
Okay, but I'm saying,
which they are split.
I
You got
understand
edit funds, and the county got edit funds.
but you can pay it out of another fund then.
Hmm?
You can pay it out of the general then. You have other funds. Randy said we don't have to pay it out of edit either. We could pay it out of general or anything.
I just don't understand what the difference is our edit funds, your edit funds. An edit fund is an edit fund.
The edit
You want to
fund,
help the citizens.
Regardless, at the end of the day, it's still a billing issue.
The edit fund saw a huge increase because we went through the COVID. You noticed that McDonald's started paying from $10 to $15. That raised the amount of everybody's wages. In turn, it's a percentage. We collected more money. Everybody got more money. Based upon that COVID, the increase even though the people turned around, inflation hit them and the groceries went up substantially. But we ended up with more money in the edit than we would in a normal year. And that was just an opportunity to provide a little bit of break for the people who live here. But
When,
that's where it came from.
at the end of last year, city council was asked to save these poor people $45. And we're doing that now. We're saying we don't want to pay the $45.
Well, and I think that's okay, Mike. The only question is how is the solid waste then going to continue?
Right.
Or are they not going to
But to bring
continue?
it up, at the, 1st of December and force us to say yea or nay, whether we're going to take it out of the edit, where in the edit funds are we going to take it? You said, are you going to save these people money? We're going to say no, we're not going to charge them. We're not going to send it out.
See, and part of this all comes back when Chris brought up at one of our meetings, where's the fairness issue? And I have to agree with him that the motels get tagged for every room and the nursing
It's
home
not fair.
doesn't get tagged at all. I mean, this is really a
We all agree with that.
setup, but yeah. So to continue what we all agree is somewhat of maybe an unfair method of collecting money. And it's going to take, as we're going through this now, if we look at waste streams and why we're charging, who we're charging, how this is done, this is going to take some time.
Mhm.
And this just simply, that's all my proposal was to give this board some time and to use these new substantial funds that we received between 23 and 24 that we didn't have before, to give the community a break while we sort these details out. I mean, we can't snap our fingers and say, well, what is our waste stream? What is our cost of handling it? Should we be doing it? Is it a state mandate? I don't have these answers, and I don't think you can do that in a day. And
What?
this just provides the community that some are overcharged, some are undercharged possibly. It just gives them a break and allows us to do our work. But yeah, apparently it's not.
If it had been presented earlier, right after the election, here we have new faces, unfamiliar,
Well, it just actually, I think Chris brought it up maybe in October.
When did we find out about the excess edit funds?
Well, they
It's in
put out
November.
preliminary things and then you finally get the real number in December.
Okay,
But
so
they
you
put
know
them out
that's-
like in October, if I remember. And that's when you'll see what the estimated funds will be. And then by December, they pretty much have them tightened up. And then we will generally, if it's like normal years, we're gonna get a supplemental in May. So everybody will pick up a little excess money in addition to that in May. We have in the past, so it'll be more money. But the question is, we need a plan or no plan. And we need to tell them that, well, there's not going to be any subsidy unless the county chooses to take over the whole operation and decides to do it independently.
And that would be a plus for people like Chris and all of our employees to get county benefits, county insurance, county perf, holidays, sick days, paydays. You probably don't get all those, do you, Chris?
The only perk we really get is our office is closed, and we close our sites for full-time employees, but our part-time employees,
But are they paid holiday? You have paid holidays?
we do have paid holidays.
But it'd be nice to have a retirement part of your
It would be
position.
nice. It would
And-
be nice-
and
be
Chris-
nice
And that's
to
a
have
plus
better
for you.
insurance. It would be
That's-
nice to have better insurance.
That's my thought for you and your employees. Better,
If
benefits.
If there was a way to have better
Mhm.
and be part of the county, that.
and if it was dissolved and done that way, that's what it would do.
If you look
That's
at
my thoughts.
in excess of $100,000 for health insurance on your budget,
I see that, yeah.
I mean, their health insurance isn't cheap. And I
No.
believe you get perf, don't you?
It's, yes.
Yeah, so
Some do.
perf, well, you gotta be full-time. Now, it's questionable what full-time is. But I think you have had 4 employees that were on the health eligible and also that received perf. So they're getting the county benefits
but they're not getting a big break on insurance because of it.
They're probably paying enough to take it beyond the county. I mean, because $105,000 budgeted for 4 people puts you, 26,000. And family plans cost us 28. So they're right there. So their insurance is costing about what county insurance is. And I don't know what they're buying. I have no idea, but I mean, it's up there in those kind of numbers. So the question is you're pulling the plug without, a drain underneath it to divert the water. So where are we
You don't have a
going?
plan.
Where's the plan?
I do agree that the billing for businesses and homeowners and industry is not, I've said this before, there should be different tiers. It's not, and I can say why the things were done before. Was it right? Why those people made the decisions they did? I don't know, and it doesn't have to stay that way. Things do need to change to make it more feasible. I just feel like things are being cut and cut off for different reasons, and it's just not. It's just overall the vision of it is being lost in the fight.
And I'm coming back from a business standpoint, there should be a cost-benefit ratio. And if picking up glass doesn't get it for us, then we need to put it into the landfill. If it's costing us a fortune to handle the stuff, even though it'd be nice to take it out of the waste stream, at what point do we say, we're taking X number of tax dollars to take 100 tons of glass out of the system or whatever that number is, and we would be better serving our community by buying additional ambulance to provide services. And at some point, we have to know those numbers and we have to make those decisions as to whether we still want to pick glass up, or is it so costly that it's something, if it's not mandated, we just need to let it go into the landfill. So, and that takes time to go through those waste streams and the costs associated with it. So we can kind of fine tune this whole process. And I did say to Randy, we don't want trash all over the county. We don't want that. So
I really think, I know Kelvin has a lot of visitors and they sell a lot of texts, but, maybe I'm just a little prejudiced for the people out in the county because I live in the county. Always have. And Branchville is a blessing, an absolute blessing to be out there. And the dirty side, I don't know what they do with that.
but see, here we go again, Becky. We look at that. This is something we need to do. Tell City picks their own trash up. They handle all that. They tax the residents accordingly to do it. Okay, we're picking trash up out there and we're charging them a tag for putting it on the trash.
Mhm.
Is the tag sufficient for what the cost is? I don't know that. I don't know. Should our tag be $2? Is $1.50 too much? I mean, and is there a way to handle that more efficiently? And I don't have that answer. And that's where we shouldn't burden the Tell City people to do it, nor should, it should be a service that we're providing, but the people who utilize it are the ones that's contributing to it. Same as Tell City, they charge everybody a flat fee on their water bill, whether you put trash in there or not. Then they also charge a tag fee. In addition.
To the $1.50, it was to offset, and it was supposed to be, and it was not that long ago that they raised it to the $1.50.
Right.
And part of why they did that was, from my understanding, was to try and get the wages also increased for the workers, which did not go, and other things to balance out the tipping fee and the hauling fee, because Branchville, we use Waste Management. They pick up and haul that, where the compactor is that. But in Hamilton, 5Gen, used to be Luttrell's, picks up and hauls that to Davis County. So I have 2 different ways of my garbage going out. So with that being that there, and in the beginning, it was like, why do we have it different? Well, it's because there's a compactor out at Branchville, and it's set up different. So that's waste management. They take their garbage, whatever they do with it. I don't know what waste management, but I have not researched what they do with their garbage. That's their business. But the garbage from Hamilton goes to Davis County because I pay Davis County and I pay 5 Gen. that's a
And
one
is
truck.
it compacted up at Cannleton?
No,
And
it's,
see, probably that's something we need to look at. Should we get a compactor up there so we can make the load count when 5 Gen picks it up and takes it? I mean, is that, and those are details that require,
and I
Some effort.
believe wholeheartedly that when these things were done, they did the best option at the time that they could do. You know, I don't feel like we're trying to reinvent the wheel, we're just trying to get out the bumps that have been developed in the wheel. And it's frustrating. And, you know, we just have to realize that these are just different, they're just different things that we have at different sites. They offer different things. Derby doesn't offer garbage. We don't take garbage. We do just, the recycling.
I want to actually pass this around and I'm going back to, this book is at all sites and the district office in Spencer County.
I keep blocking
And it
you
is
off.
absolutely the most informative book I have ever seen.
In recycling, it's very informative. That's better.
Oh, it just tells where they sell the tags, how much the tags are, what they take, what can be recycled, the hours. I mean, it's amazing.
And
just to look
that
at
is
it.
something that,
That's what we need.
that's right. And I've worked at other places and put together handbooks like that. It's like, all the cheat, it's frustrating
Mm.
to have to keep going back to.
How much more you got pour in your
That
coals?
tells,
That is a great,
yeah, that's the best tool right there I've ever seen.
and that would be something
Because
that,
so many people ask me, they say, well, did they take this, did they take that? I said, I have no idea.
and we have a sheet of paper, we have it at Hamilton, there is a sheet of paper, and we have them at Branchville. But to have a book like that, to be able to sit
That's
down
amazing to
and
me.
have our stuff and have it down.
I really
and see
like
where
it.
we are and how we are, and have a book like that, I would be proud.
It tells the hours and everything. I mean, it's just, it's really something good. What, we need to get back on what we were talking about.
Yeah,
question,
we need to get back to
motion and
the.
a second.
Get back to
The
ourselves.
Randy, I'm
question
just
is,
gonna, Randy,
I mean,
clean it up.
what's the plan?
I'm just gonna sum up what I was trying to say. If the county wants to pay for county residents, they should pay for all county residents, I think. Wherever pot the county chooses to pay it out of, that's up to them to decide. It can be edit, it can be general, it can be whatever they choose. But at the end of the day, Tell City, Cannleton, Troy are all part of Perry County too. And if they want to pay for county residents, you pay for all, not just pick and choose, this particular unincorporated areas and forget Tell City, Cannleton, and Troy. That's just my kind of opinion on it. If you don't agree, that's fine. I still respect you. It's nothing just trying to be disrespectful. I'm just looking out for Tell City residents because they are part of Perry County too. At the end of the day, they pay a county tax, just like you all do out in the county. So our money goes towards that too.
Chris, would you be opposed if we use the funds that we pay for the dispatch service to pay for the solid waste, and then you come a little short on the dispatch?
No, the dispatch is a county responsibility too, the whole amount, right?
So our funding has to come
Tell City's already paid millions of dollars in edit fund.
after
over
we have
dispatch.
split our edit funds 4 ways. We have to take our piece of the pie and pay 100% of the solid waste fee.
You don't have to use that. That was just an account that you chose.
Well, we don't have any money anywhere else. I mean, our property.
I understand that.
Those funds that everybody pays the property tax, which is paid universally by everybody that lives here, won't support the necessary jail, court facilities, all the rest of that. They won't meet the needs for that.
So at what point did this program go beyond the capabilities of the county supporting it?
Well, it was supported by the taxpayer or the homeowner, the business owner, I don't know, it's really kind of bizarre how they came up with some of the billing. There's no real documentation that says, here's why we did it, and when we did it, why we did it, and the reasoning behind it. I've yet to find that. But what the idea was, instead of trying to put it on the taxpayer through property tax or some other type fee, this would be more of a universal type thing. Everybody that had a home, had a business, would just pay. That's how it went.
And maybe as we,
And that was probably, what, 30 years ago?
Yeah, I remember when it
40 years
began.
ago, it's been a
I
long
totally
time.
remember when it began.
Yeah,
And it started out at-
in 90.
$22 maybe, is that right?
Yeah, it was like 22, and they pay it 23, they pay $12.50 twice a year.
and maybe the county could look at it as an option as operating a transfer station to bring more revenue. How much would it save you if you could actually have a transfer station here? You're not driving to Davis County for that, the garbage to be disposed of. You have it here, and then people could actually bring stuff here and make money. I don't know, it's worth looking at,
It might be, but see, those are the things that take.
but that's down the road. But I just thought of
See,
that. Saw that in the
Where
book.
we're at.
There you go.
Okay, got a motion, got a second. We've had a lot of discussion. All in favor of Chris's motion, say aye.
What was the motion again?
To not bill Tell City Council and Troy residents for the 2024 billing cycle. Because they're county residents too.
Don't bill anybody.
Don't bill Tell City Council or Troy residents, because the unincorporated areas are already covered at this point, other than Cannleton.
It has to be subsidized if you're gonna do, it doesn't make enough money off the resources that they collect, pay them in order to work. They have to have the subsidy.
Okay, all in favor was aye, was
Aye.
all opposed?
No.
Aye. No.
The only thing is, and I don't want to be opposed to this. What I want to do is provide relief this year so we can sort through the details. Now, I take it the only interest with Tell City, and I'm not sure about Cannleton, is that if there's going to be any relief to the taxpayer, it's going to come solely from county funds. Am I interpreting that correctly?
I think so.
I think so,
Okay.
because they're county residents too. I mean, we are.
Chris, I said this down at your meeting. The U.S. Postal Service is owned by the government. Do you pay federal taxes?
Do I pay federal taxes, me personally? Yes.
Should you get free stamps then?
Why would I get free stamps?
Because it's a federal entity. You pay taxes, it's federal government. We're all paying federal taxes, we should all get free stamps.
If they're
It's the
passing out
same
free,
thing,
if they're
the
passing
same
out free stamps to everyone else, then
argument you're
yes.
It's the same argument you're using for the county. The county collects money from everybody. The county has specific uses that everyone in this county, whether they like it or not, it's like the jail. The jail's operated, picks prisoners up, irregardless of where you're at. The county takes the funds they collect and operates the jail. We pay for the pauper attorneys. We pay for all the court costs. We pay for all the kids that end up over at Vincennes at $250.
And we as Tell City too in that.
We pay for all of this through the county collective. And the money we collect as a whole from Tell City residents, county residents, will not begin to pay 100% of those costs. Then we take our edit money and slice it 4 ways, and you're asking us then to take our edit money once again and use it for the whole of the county, while Cannleton, Tell City, and Troy keep their edit money to use for whatever they choose. Now, there's got to be a fairness issue there, but if this is the way, you want to approach this.
And if the federal government wants to buy postage stamps for Perry County residents, I expect Tell City to get them for free too. Not just the county residents.
But
Outside
what
of
you're
it.
saying is because you live in the county, everything that the county does, the county should pay for.
No, that
But
they
you're
should, the
saying
same
when
service
you
should,
pay-
the same service should
When
be
you pay
offered to us.
Federal taxes, you're saying it's okay to charge you postage because if you mail a stamp, you're charging, you're going to pay for that delivering of that letter. When if Becky doesn't have a letter, she doesn't have to pay for you. And it's the same thing here. If we didn't slice up the edit, we used it off the top, the taxpayers, 100% of the county would do it, and we would pay for the subsidy. But once we split it, and that's what we do with edit, it becomes proportional, and you're asking the county to come and pick 100% of the portion of it. So then it becomes the county's decision what they do with this, I'm assuming. I mean,
The motion didn't pass, so they're getting the bills.
I don't think so. You've already said we haven't sat down and determined the date. We haven't had hearings. We haven't had these things. So it seems to me you've done some research as far as legality is concerned. And I'm hesitant upon taking the county into a situation where we could potentially find ourselves in a lawsuit. So I can't say that we can send out a bill just randomly. But I think we need to actually, rather than throw something like this out at a meeting, we need to actually spend a little time and come up with some kind of a reasonable
This motion
solution.
didn't pass either.
Right. That's what I said, it didn't pass.
But I mean, Becky, I don't want to send, if he's already obviously looked into some of the legal entities or potential here, so we got to watch our
Protect
step.
ourselves.
Because what we don't want to do is find ourselves
And that's why I'm asking that.
defending a lawsuit. And whether it's Tell City or whether it's the residents or whatever, it will come through the legal counsel they've already probably talked to. So that's where we are.
So what you just said, Randy, do you think we need to just send a bill like normal to all residents then and try to sort this out by next year?
I don't think we can do that. I think if we sent a bill out, if you had listened to Mr. Kale, we haven't had, he's concerned about our hearing, he's concerned about changing the dates, he's concerned about these things. So if we do that and it is considered to be irregular, then we could find ourselves in a lawsuit. And I'm not comfortable either now that he's brought that up, that legally we have jumped through all the hoops required to send this bill out. And, you know, that's something we'd have to look into if we do that. Because, I mean, what we don't want to do is find ourselves doing something that's illegal.
Let's table this.
Well, I mean, I think the motion's already died. But we still haven't agreed to send out the $45 charge, nor taken on 100% of the cost of operating the recycling for the 2024 year. So we need to probably look a little further into exactly where we are. And this would be the county, because it would be ours.
But right now, everything's on hold.
I think
City
that's our only
won't get
choice.
a card, the county people won't get a card.
Right, as of today, until we get, because what we don't want to do is mail the cards out and then find ourselves on the other side of the lawsuit because of some technicality that we failed to.
Is a month gonna make a big difference?
How much are we short, Randy? If we take our edit funds, we're gonna be short about half, right?
We were paying the largest percentage of it just because we
58%.
received the largest. We received 58%, a little better, right in that number is what we get. So we'd be short 42% of the money. We'd probably have to come up with, I don't know, Chris, what were we asking you to contribute?
100. I think it was close to 100. Let me see. I got a copy of the interlocal agreement. I don't think
Maybe 90,000.
the interlocal agreement don't actually spell out dollar figures, does it? I don't think so. No, it don't. 58.42 is the county, so, and Tell Cities was 33, Hamilton was 7.5, and Troy was 0.38. So I don't know. I'd probably say that if you're doing 300,000 to 58.
If it was 40%,
Yeah.
if it was 40%, it'd be 120,000.
Yeah.
And that would be paying for Hamilton, Tell City, and Troy. So,
Well, my opinion, and I know each one of us has got complaints, and I think the directors kind of fixed some of those issues at Branchville. I have a real hard time setting a bill this year because of the headache they went through out there. And we've got complaints from people that never complained before. and that it wasn't open. And I even seen one post, I know the lady really well that was even looking in, trying to find a dumpster because Branchville wasn't open. And now we're gonna turn around and charge them. That's the reason I asked that question, how much more would we have to try to come up with? To just make it right with the residents and move on and get on this and try to fix it by next year.
I think what we're gonna have to do is set down the county level, get the council involved with it to see,
If they have any other funds.
yeah, because, just coming up saying, yep, we're gonna do this here, especially, I know when they went through this here, the pauper attorney, we spent over 500,000 this year. They budgeted 150.
Yeah.
So we've got some areas within the budget that's gonna be concerning. And I know we received a $35,000 bill for 1 month over there at Vincennes for the children that's being housed. So that, I think, was $150,000 budgeted. So
Plus our EMS service.
if that continues on, that'll be a
And that's
$400,000
for the whole
charge
county.
just for the minors that we have to house over there. So, I mean, we're looking at some substantial costs. So I think right now this failed. I think we need to, as a county entity, get with the council and see what we can do. Chris is gonna go ahead and operate as she is, and we'll sort these details out.
Mhm.
Figure it out.
Our hand being forced, but that's the
Do
way.
what?
I said the cards will sit in the corner.
Ensure the employees, solid waste will be here. It's up to us and we're the fiscal body of solid waste and we'll take care of it. But make sure the employees know they will have a job and we'll be here. We got things to work through. So,
You might have it modified. By the time we get out of this, we don't know what the animal may look like. But we need to, and anything, Chris, as far as any kind of data on your waste streams, your
Chris is, I
costs,
think,
your
talking to
things,
me.
will help us. To look at it. So we kind of can get an idea on where we're at and what we need to be doing.
and there's nobody up here that wants to get rid of solid waste.
I agree.
So,
I think that's one thing this whole board can agree on. We want solid waste. It just needs structure. Oh, I'm sorry, your book. You're not looking at
Oh,
it?
I'm done, yeah.
That's a good book. It's very well done. Thank you, Sharon.
Very informative.
But I think it's just, how do we get there? The structure,
Yeah.
the efficiency, and the effectiveness is what it boils down, and billing.
And,
How it boils
and
down.
I feel like if everyone felt like everyone was on a path, on that goal, that it would feel better.
I felt better after I read this book
Yes.
because it is so informative.
with this discussion, what we had here, this is what we need. I feel like we're on that path.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I do, I really do. So, and that's what we need to do. We need to open up more, just like what we did here. We don't need to yell. We don't need to get excited.
It was a
Let's work
calm,
through
civil
this.
meeting.
And everybody's got great points.
It
I mean,
wasn't bad.
everybody's got good points.
No.
So.
It's,
You're in the middle of this, and it's tough on you. I get it.
We
I,
want to see you grow. We want to see solid waste grow.
I want to, and I see things that you can do, and it's, when people call and they're like, I didn't get my bill, I'm like, where do you live? That's my first question to someone. And they're like, what? Where do you live?
Well,
And
they
at
do
this
go
point-
click.
Well, some of them, but it's like, at this
I would.
point, I try to let residents know, at this point, the county can't hold this. So,
Okay, we'll,
we're going.
we'll get more information.
So we're going to table, we're going to not bill, I want to make sure we're on this. I am not billing anyone as of now. I will hold on to the cards and we will, this next meeting.
I think Randy and we'll be discussing this with the council, if they see any options to help us, so. Is that correct, Randy?
Yeah, we need to get a hold of someone in legal counsel as
Yeah,
far as
that's your next.
where we're at,
Yes,
because I'm not sure.
Yes, that's your
Okay.
next.
we need a lawyer.
We'll get that done. We'll take care of that next right now, so. Everyone was aware that Jeff Haggerty stepped away from solid waste. I want to thank him for his years of service. Very good attorney for us.
Yeah.
He just had some things he knew he was going to represent Tell City and represent us, and it was a little bit of conflict, and he decided to step down. I honor that, and I want to thank him for his service. But now we do need a attorney. I'm gonna open it up for any suggestions or discussions. Who do we think?
Could we send out letters of interest to all the attorneys, at least start in Perry County, and see if we get anything? If we don't, then maybe cast that net a little further.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see us employ or hire a local attorney. We've got great attorneys in Perry County, and I think it's important to offer to them first. If we get no letters of interest, then obviously it's worth casting that net a little further. But I think we owe it to our Perry County residents or taxpayers here first. I mean, I could name 5 of them off the top of my head that would be great. I don't know if they would do it, but, you know.
I did have a conversation with Jeff, and who he had suggested, I had thought of it, Walter Haggerty.
Oh, yeah.
He,
yeah.
has not returned a phone call, but I know his caseload is beyond heavy. I can send him a letter, that would be who I would,
Could you send a letter to all the attorneys, minus Jeff, because obviously, but that in Perry County, that, I mean, the Google search would probably pull up all of them pretty easy.
You don't pay a retainer, do you?
we haven't,
It's just an hourly basis.
yes.
I think that would be just wise. Then the board could vote to enter an agreement with them.
So if we came up with a couple that, you know, we can come up with a couple names maybe tonight, because I do not know.
I would just cast the net to all of them. I sure do.
I want someone who
Hate to leave it.
has got enough experience.
Yeah.
And I would also, ask in there that they find out what they charge for either hourly, whatever.
Yeah, if it's a retainer or
As a
whatever per
retainer
month,
or
so.
whatever, what all financials are involved.
And I know there's someone that the county uses. Is that okay to reach out to that person?
Andrew Foster,
Yes.
He's not local. I mean, as far as he doesn't live here or have an office here, I don't think, does he?
I don't know.
Nothing against him. I assume
Yeah.
my talk was a super nice guy. I just want to offer it to locals first.
Okay. I didn't know.
He-
I assumed-
He don't live here, right?
No, he lives Spencer County somewhere. so.
He's a nice guy. I just,
Yeah.
nothing against him at all. I just think it's fair to offer local first.
Where's Jeff Haggerty live?
He's got a Troy address.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he-
Well, at the
I
edge,
thought he-
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you can throw a rock to Perry County, but
Mhm.
Well, I will get a.
But his office is here, and that's how
You guys, who I
he's able to do
sent,
that.
and if anyone else wants to add to it or something, for that.
I did ask, after I knew Jeff was gonna step down, after commissioner meeting, I did ask Andrew if he would be interested, just fishing.
Sure.
And he said he probably would be, but that's as far as that conversation went. So if we don't find anybody local, I think we could, I would
I don't
suggest,
think we require a lot of legal advice. This is
No.
more of a.
We don't normally.
We haven't had a legal attorney here, but one time we was looking to rate increase in 4 years.
that's what I told
That
him.
was, seriously.
I
So,
will be honest, I reach out to them when I've had the
Oh, you have?
state issue.
Yeah,
I want
sure.
to make sure I'm within guidelines, that.
Sure.
yeah, you would use that person more than the board
Right.
would. I would think, else we'd have issues, so.
Yes.
Okay, let's just send out everybody in the county and then we'll work from there. So,
So you
try to do that pretty
Meeting.
quick because we
Yes.
probably do need an attorney on staff as quick as possible.
Maybe by our next meeting, letters of interest due the week before, and you could send them out, and we could all review them or talk to them if we want.
Yeah.
Make a decision. That
Yes.
seems fair.
Okay,
Yes.
Thank you.
okay, that's under my new business. So I think, Chris, you had the, with the FD 131?
Yeah, I had somebody reach out to me at this SB 131. I don't know if, Chris, you know what it is. If you don't, that's okay, because I didn't know what it is. It is a SB 131, is a Solid Waste Management District report. And apparently, we've been supposed to be doing this for a long time. And the last report uploaded was in 2019. It's due tomorrow, so good luck. No, I'm not laughing. You know what, if it's late, it's late. But here's the packet that I went online and found out how to do it.
I
So-
was just in Gateway today.
Yeah,
One
here's
different side.
a copy of the 19 one, might tell you what they need. It doesn't look like a lot of information. I don't think we're gonna go to jail over anything, but I just want you to have it. I don't know.
Yeah, but it can also
Might affect
hurt
grants.
or
Yeah.
help whenever
So
your audit.
it's nothing that you did wrong, because it hasn't been done since 2019, this
Yeah.
last one. So you didn't get hired till what, 21? So
Yeah.
it's nothing against what you're doing.
I would probably try to get that done, Chris, in case.
Oh, yeah, and I will call
Stay.
Robert Norris and ask him about it. I just talked to him today.
2015 wasn't done, and I don't know why, but other than that, they were all done, and it looks simple. It is really expenditures, cash balance, encumbrance, balance funds, and revenues. That should be a plug and go easy, I would think.
You know, I don't know.
And-
But there you go. I'm not trying to be nitpicky.
No.
I wanted to tell last week at our meeting to explain what it was, and
Yeah.
well, that didn't work out, so at least you have a week, but now you have the
Well,
time.
it's got the Bobcat loan and that's been paid off.
Yeah, that was in 19, so
Right.
an encumbrance.
Yeah. No, that's
So, again, just take a look at that. That's part of us structuring and getting
good. No, right,
things going
Yeah.
good.
yeah, no
So
problem.
there you go.
Thank
Something
you.
easy.
Like I said,
Finally, an easy task, right?
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
There may be login credentials with that. Good luck.
Yeah, no,
But I'm sure-
just on Gateway today, so.
Okay, well, good then.
Thanks, Chris. Next, I think Becky wanted a field trip about going to Spencer
Yeah,
County.
I went down to Spencer County, talked with Autumn Winkler. She's a director down there. She's been director for about 6 years now. And all of you seen this book, which I think is very informative. I really like how they do things, and hopefully at a certain point, I hope ours gets to that point. We may not be as big, even though Spencer County has like 700 more residents than we have. But anyway, I got what they pay for their balers and how often they get one, where they get them from. They rotate out their compactors. They have 8 compactors. They rotate one out every year. What they give for them, and what the yardage is on them, about the recycling trucks and where their companies take their solid waste, their glass, and you know, how they come in. And they're not on any contract with any people to come in and get this solid waste or this recycles, which is good because when you're on contract, you're stuck in it. And I found out that they pick up at ATTC, which amazed. 2021, they've been doing it since 2021, and ATTC actually contacted them. So, you know, it might be worth a call to talk to ATTC and find out what is going on.
I think you said 2019, right, or something like that?
2021, and they actually contacted Ms. Winkler. And
To pick up their recycling or?
Yeah.
They would pick it up?
ATTC contacted them
Oh, I see.
to come pick it up, start picking it up since 2021.
I wonder if it's because of how much they have and them having.
She told me that out there it is mainly plastic drink bottles and stuff like that. She says not a whole lot of cardboard, but she said it's like drink bottles and stuff. But she said sometimes there's a lot. But I mean, you know, it's here in our county. And she told me that they have 18 to 20 employees. They have 5 full-time. They have 13 to 15 site attendants. But of course, they have 7 sites in Spencer County. And they're all over. They have 11 businesses that sell tags. Because there's no tags sold at any site. No money is handled at any site. Their part-time employees make $13.82 an hour, 8.5 hours a day. But their
How about our-
part-time employees,
How about our employees? Sorry to interrupt you, but
Most of our part-time employees, the ones that work at Carrollton, make $8.67. I just hired 2 months. The Branchville person that works there part-time, they do make $9.01 an hour.
like I said, it's a bigger organization, you know, as far as, and they don't work, okay, that's 8.5 hours a day. Now, as you can see in this book, the hours of these sites are different. They may be open 3 hours this day, twice a week. all your other sites, drop-off centers, and locations and schedules. Most of them are open 3 days a week. And your Christmas site, the main site, and Dale, and Rockport are all open 4 days a week. So, I mean, you know, they're not working like 40 hours a week.
We have our part-time, on our on week, once again, which is a very busy week. All the employees work 40 hours, even the part-time employees, because we are so busy. The off week, they'll work like 30, so their paycheck is like 70 hours.
So
Or bi-weekly.
Okay.
on your employees, how many do you have now?
One at Branchville, one in the office besides me. I have, two, I have, so it's, I have 3 full-time and at Hamilton and 3 part-time. And I use,
So 9 people.
so I
So long as
use
solid waste.
one
2
to
hours.
help drive.
So say 10 people. Okay.
Well, thank you, Vic. Good information.
I really think we need to,
That could be a good goal of ours.
an informative book like
And
this.
she, when I spoke to her today,
I spoke to her a couple weeks ago. She's very nice people.
yeah.
I mean, very informative. I mean,
And she,
Yeah.
they're going to be picking up from Crawford County. She said, you know, like I said, she said she doesn't want to merge with anybody, doesn't want to do those things, but she would take our, we'd have to take it to, or they would come get it, but we'd have to process it.
Mhm.
They're going to go to Crawford County to work with them on getting something from Crawford County.
Mhm.
But it's gotta be something that they're going to make money on.
They also
Sure.
go to Du Bois County.
Yeah, Du Bois
Yep.
County, and I can't remember what she gets.
It's not everything, everybody at Du Bois County, it's just certain places that they go to Du Bois and pick up.
And like, when we need our Gaylord boxes, which is what we process when we ship our TVs in, the big brown cardboard boxes, we get them donated. You know, we have to drive out there and get them and come back, so we're out the gas mileage. And I'm the one that does it. We get 3 stacks at a time. They're like $8 a pop per Gaylord box.
Sure.
And they get donated, but they're donated to Patricia out there. She's looking to retire. I hope that when she does it, that's another point I right, you know, do we still do that? Because what do we do when we can't get them donated? If she retires, will we still be able to get free?
are those big cardboard boxes like pumpkins, watermelons coming
Yes,
out?
it's a
Okay.
Gaylord box.
A what?
It sits on a wooden pallet or a plastic pallet.
Okay.
They're called a Gaylord box. It's a
Gaylord
cardboard
box. Okay. I just call them big box, but yeah.
Yeah, and
Didn't know it had a name.
we get 3 skids of them at a time. They're donated to her, then she donates them to other counties.
That's nice. Maybe it was donating to her, donating to us. And the other counties come to you to get them. How about that?
Yeah, so, you know.
Sell for $8 a piece.
It takes about a day to go drive there and get back and everything.
Where are those located at?
With Patricia in,
I mean, is it an hour drive? Huh?
Mount Vernon,
Oh, well, that is a drive.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know, you're driving the truck with the flatbed behind you and stuff, so, you know, I went the one Friday when it was gonna rain, and so I got back just kind of ahead of the rain, but you just gotta plan it and get ahead of it, so.
You know, like I said, Chris, you know, if there's grants you can work on, please. You know,
I think if there's grants, that it's 100%,
Mm-hmm.
go after everything you can. If there's a cost share, come back and ask the board,
yes.
and then we'll, if it's anything at all, we'll push for it. But I think if there's any financial obligation to the recycling, need to bring that to the board. But if it's 100% grants, try all day long, so.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Public comments.
Everybody looks at her.
She's been sitting quiet.
She is.
You're the only public.
Now's your chance. You got 3
Have you learned anything?
We'll give you 3 to 5 minutes, whatever you want.
Have you learned anything?
For the launch. I'm here as a Tell City citizen. And, I've listened to a lot, because I went to the Tell City one also. And I was gonna be upset if I got a $45 bill. Because I felt like it's a county issue and not a city issue, because it's been a county issue all these years. And I felt like we were being picked at. And I feel like we are part of the county, just like you guys are, Burnsville is, St. Mark's is. And I feel like we're nitpicking, it'd be like if somebody from the county wants to come in and use the Tell City pool. I know they pay a fee to get in there, but I know my tax dollars go towards that pool. That's what I'm saying. I feel like people are picking and kind of choosing. Do you understand my thinking there?
Yeah,
And kind of like I understand that county we're taking care of the jail, we're taking care of this, but if somebody is outside the city limits here and the fire department someone has a fire department, Tell City's probably gonna get there pretty quick. So, you know what I'm saying? I think we're nitpicking. My opinion was just bill everybody $45. And next year, and try from now to then to come up with a new plan. Because it is not a very good plan. I agree with you all on that. I sit on the Tell City Housing Authority Board, and our bill to county for recycling is $9,000. And that's for our high-rise, our Spring Hill apartments, and our Erie homes. We pay $9,000. She is correct. So, and do I think it should be gone? No. I think it should be on some kind of a level, just like the hotels and
Industry.
industry. Thank you, yes.
Yeah.
But I do think everybody's trying to do the best they can. I think the city's trying not to argue. I think the county's trying, I see where everything's coming from. I think that, it was just so short for everyone to make a decision. I think everybody's really trying to do this, doing the best you can. And I do feel sorry for you, because I think you're doing the best you can.
I've always said that if I had to have a county job, that would be I would have to go on some kind of assistance because I wouldn't work there.
I don't know, corner would be a pretty tough job too, although.
Because I
No,
do
that right there.
people get
That right there is the worst
$8 an hour. I'm surprised she's
Ooh.
getting somebody to work for $3.
Isn't that the
Yeah, that's something
that's sad.
that we're gonna have to work on that too.
Yeah.
Before
We
that.
pay our summer high school kids, the city does more than that.
We got a
Do
lot
I
of
want
work
the
to do.
recycling to go away? Absolutely not.
Yeah, we've got a lot of work to
Because
do.
I do think that, yes, that, we don't want to get looking horrible over the county, because it is cleaned up since we had this.
And that's a good point, what you said. Out in the county, it's recycling and trash pickup a lot of times. A lot of people's got dumpsters, but they're $100 and some a month. They can't afford that.
Right.
And they don't have that much trash, but that's where the tags come in, and that's where opportunities were. They can save some money on the trash if they recycle. It works hand in hand.
Right.
And that's where I come from. I'm from the county. Becky is too, so Randy's partial from the county. But we look out for everybody in the county, no matter if they live in Tell City
I have
or
to.
out in the county. That's our job as
I think
commissioners.
you see a large, someone from outside coming, maybe give an analysis.
Gail lives in the county too.
That's right. Yeah, he's a county.
Yeah,
right?
Gail.
I'm a suburb.
He lives in the
That's why I
suburbs
was
of
thinking, go
Rome.
ahead and charge everybody $45 and take the money that Randy's talking about and have someone come and do some kind of analysis for you.
We've talked about that before, it never goes through, and it's kind of like, you feel like, do we want to pay someone to come in and do that, or do we want to try and figure it out ourselves and not spend the money?
I think tonight has been fairly good. There's 7 of us sitting here. We've all come up with ideas.
That's where,
I
I
don't
mean,
want to see a consulting firm come in or somebody and say,
the only thing on a consulting firm that would help is like, hopefully they would have picked up on that SB, whatever,
Yeah.
131. They would have maybe helped us develop a binder, because Chris, you're going to retire one day, or you're going to say, I'm done with this. I hope you don't. But the next person could have that binder that says, this is what they need to do. And if we can do it ourselves, that's great. But I just don't want to miss anything like that, because it's been missed for a few years. And I'm not blaming you, because you probably didn't know.
No, I mean,
I mean, I knew.
I'm not gonna say anything about prior to me. I don't know why it wasn't done prior.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I was 19 and
You have a lot of this stuff in your lab.
You did.
and, you know, I feel like every few months it's defending that we're here. And it takes away from the long-term goal. And that's why I feel like it's a pecking post. And I just, you know, it is very therapeutic tonight, maybe for lack of a better word, because it does, you know, we just got a lot of responsibility. And
Kind of like our workshop. We kind of just had it, really, part of it.
Yeah.
We just got a couple hours to go.
yeah,
Who's ordering pizza?
I appreciate
I'll buy.
all of you and your time. I know that it's been difficult. I know that there's been issues trying to get through all that, and we're just going to go forward. We will keep, as far as I know, we're staying in the annex building. We are still selling tickets there. We're going to just keep on going. You know?
Okay.
Be in the office early tomorrow and send out some letters and look at these.
Good comments, Chris. And I'll put this out there. I'll probably need to do this every meeting. Thank you for your comments. You would make a great advisory board member. We are looking for advisory board members.
Yes, we are.
The pay is not as much as the employees make $8, but it's pretty close.
Chris?
So that's for the public that's listening to.
Yeah.
I mean, we need advisory board members. And what they do, they meet monthly and bring ideals and different things to the board.
I don't think the meeting was being recorded unless it changed.
Aw.
Because I was at work at 4 o'clock and I kept
Well,
watching you and I.
Right after it started, Greg came up here and did something. I think he got it going. So it might have been after you couldn't get
A
on.
lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
so,
supposed to be.
but yeah, think about that.
Well, and because you understand about how high rise in the building and stuff, and you would have that knowledge. That is something that I need, is someone that understands that, and we do need it here. I believe that is a good compromise that I think that everyone can kind of agree on. It's not fair for an industry to pay $45. But that's just down the road.
Because when we had an active advisory board, we leaned on them a lot as a board several years ago. So we've kind of lost that over the last couple of years. So we need to get it back. So
Are you ready for a motion to adjourn?
yes, next meeting, March 28th, scheduled meeting. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Second.
I'll second that.
I probably won't be any discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
You need signatures?
Yes, we need everybody's
Oh, my God.
on the financials here.
Good meeting.
Thank you all.
How do you find employees at that rate?